Hi, my name is Deep. I'll be presenting the work Adaptive Sample Selection for Robust Learning under Label Noise. So, given the success of deep learning in the last few years, and given that they are so data hungry, we need large scale data sets, and this has resulted in labeling errors. Why? Because these large scale data sets often employ automated labeling processes, crowdsourced annotations for labeling the data sets, and because of this, a lot of labeling errors creep in. We call this label noise, and it's been empirically observed that the training of deep networks is adversely affected by this label noise, and hence robust learning under label noise is an important problem. We will define what robust learning means here. So many approaches have been proposed to tackle this problem of label noise, such as robust loss functions, loss correction, meta learning, sample reweighting, and so on. In the last few years, several of these algorithms are based on the idea of sample reweighting. So what we do in this method is we assign binary or real valued weights to each sample and minimize the weighted loss. When the weights are binary, we call it a sample selection algorithm. So we want to reduce the influence of samples that are likely to have the noisy labels, and therefore we will end up reducing overfitting to such unreliable noisy data. This is very similar to curriculum learning. Curriculum learning is typically meant to sequence the samples such that the easy samples are learned from before the hard ones. This notion of hard or easy has to be user defined, of course. And in the context of label noise, one can think of clean samples as the easy ones and the noisy samples as the hard ones. This analogy makes sense because we have empirically seen that neural networks, when trained on data with the label noise, seem to be learning from clean data first before gradually overfitting to the noisy data. Motivated by this, several curriculum learning strategies have been proposed for robustness against label noise. Most methods also seem to be assuming that one can assess whether or not a sample has clean label based on some function of this sample's loss value. However, this loss value will keep on changing with epochs because it will be a function of the current state of learning. So this range will keep on changing and it will be different for different classes. So for example, a simple fixed threshold won't work. In addition, these methods require knowledge of noise rates, access to extra data with clean labels, or availability of high computation resources. Quite often, we don't have these. Motivated by all this, we propose a simple sample selection strategy called batch reweighting, BARE in short. So the idea is to focus on the current state of learning in a given mini batch for identifying the noisy samples. We discard them and then learn from the rest of the samples. We do this by computing the batch statistics of loss values for a given mini batch. We use that to compute the threshold for sample selection. We show through empirical studies the effectiveness of our method. Before we go to the design of the algorithm, we take a quick look at what robust learning under label noise means. So in case of label noise, we have access only to samples from the noisy distribution d eta and not the clean distribution. So for robust learning under label noise, the objective is that I have some noisy training data. I learn a classifier from that, and it should perform well on the clean training data. So S is the training set with true labels, whereas S eta is the training set with noisy labels. So in practice, note that we have access to S eta and not S. So I have access to the labels yi's and not yicls. How do you mathematically state this label noise? It can be modeled in the following sense. The yi's, the corrupted labels, they are random variables dependent on the clean labels yicls through these conditional probabilities. So you can see in equation 1, eta kk dash is the conditional probability of the noisy label belonging to class k dash conditioned on the clean label belonging to class k. We call these probabilities as noise rates, and as you can see in equation 1, we aptly term it as class conditional noise. A special case of this is symmetric noise, wherein let's say you have a 10 class problem and a sample belongs to class 1, then this label will be flipped to any of the remaining classes with equal probability. So symmetric in that sense. Coming to the design of the algorithm, let's take a look at how general curriculum can be mathematically stated. So we state it as a minimization of weighted loss. So you can see summation wi times the corresponding loss function plus g of w. The w's are the sample weights here and the thetas are the network parameters. G is the curriculum here. As an illustration, let's take a simple case of G being minus lambda times L1 norm of the sample weights. From the algebra here, you can see that the optimization problems become really simple if we fix the network parameters theta. So you see that for each I, the problem is decoupled, and it is easy to see from this algebra that this is essentially a thresholding, meaning that the optimal Wi will be 1 if the corresponding loss value Li will be less than the threshold lambda, which is a constant. Because these problems are decoupled for each I, even if lambda were not constant, instead if it were to be a function of other variables, for example, function of the theta network parameters or the data xi, it will still be the same, meaning the optimal solution will still be the same. This is what we wanted, because we wanted the threshold to depend on the current state of learning in order to be an adaptive sample selection strategy. So how do we do that? So we do that by determining these lambdas by the statistics of loss values in a given mini batch, or equivalently, since we are considering CC loss, we compute the statistics of posterior probabilities. So what you see in equation 2 is essentially the algorithm. So I have, for instance, a sample xi yi. Yi is the class. So I collect all the samples in this mini batch which have label yi. Let's call it syi. For these samples, we compute the corresponding posterior probabilities and compute the sample mean and sample variance for this subset. And if the corresponding posterior probability for this sample xi, yi, if this is more than this sample mean plus sample variance, then we are reasonably confident that the sample is clean, and hence we select the sample and we discard the rest. Coming to the experimental setup, I do experiments on 3 data sets: MNIST, CIFAR10, and Clothing 1M. These are the 6 baselines with which I compare my algorithm. Run the simulations for 5 trials, and I use PyTorch for the experiments. I simulate 2 types of label noise, symmetric and class conditional, which I alluded to before. To give a little better idea, you can think of MNIST data set where we have handwritten digits, and you can imagine that 1 could be confused with 7, similarly 2 with 7, 3 with 8, and 5 with 6. This is a slightly more realistic noise, and that's why we simulate for this class conditional noise as well. Coming to the performance metrics, we compute 3 metrics, first being the test accuracy on a separate test set with clean labels. This will give us an idea of how robust the algorithm is. And in addition to that, because many of these baseline schemes happen to be sample selection schemes, even the proposed algorithm is a sample selection scheme. So we compute 2 quantities, precision and recall, meaning I want to know out of the selected samples how many are clean, and out of the total number of clean samples, how many of them have clean labels. How many having clean labels are selected. So coming to the results, first we look at test accuracies. So we see that the blue curve at the top, Bayer, it outperforms the baselines in case of symmetric noise, and in case of class conditional noise, figure C, it performs at par with the best of the baselines. Similar trends hold in case of CIFAR10 as well. The blue curve at the top, it outperforms the baselines or performs at par, and the shaded regions here are the variances in the test accuracies. Even for a data set like Clothing 1M, which is a real world noisy large scale data set, meaning it has a label noise that is even more realistic than the class conditional synthetic label noise. Here we see that Bayer performs better than all but one baselines. However, we should note here that divide mix, the best performing baseline, it requires about 2.4 times the computation required for Bayer, and has additional 5 hyperparameters to tune. Bayer algorithm does not have any of that. Having looked at the robustness, let's see how efficient Bayer is. So we see that roughly Bayer takes the same time as usual training with CCE loss, whereas the other baselines are significantly more computationally expensive. So now that we see that Bayer has better robustness, is more efficient, it in fact is even more effective at detecting clean samples. So we see that from label precision and recall here. Remember that higher the value, the better it is. So the blue curve at the top, which corresponds to our algorithm that continues to perform better or at par with the baselines. Similarly, for CIFAR10 dataset and for the two noise types, the same trends hold. Even for recall, remember that even for label recall, the higher the value, the better it is. And here we see the same trends that Bayer performs better than the baselines. So Bayer is more robust, it is efficient, it is better at identifying clean samples. In addition, Bayer is insensitive to noise rates. In practice, since we don't have access to the clean labels, we do not know the true noise rates, and hence we end up estimating these noise rates for some of the baselines. If we end up misspecifying these noise rates, then these algorithm performances degrade, as can be seen in the figure here. Of course, Bayer algorithm does not experience any of this performance degradation because it doesn't rely on the noise rates. So in conclusion, we propose an adaptive sample selection algorithm. We do so by relying on the statistics of posterior probabilities in a given mini batch. And unlike the other algorithms in literature, we don't need extra data with clean labels, no knowledge of noise rates, no additional hyperparameter tuning. And comparisons with baseline scheme show that Bayer performs better in terms of the performance metrics and the computational complexity. Thank you.